Hello and welcome to my channel. Welcome to the Suris and Rhino Show. I'm just giving in.
Kind of.
I'm just giving in. We're the Suris and Rhino Show now.
I hate everything. Why did you do this?
Yeah, so I know I've been kind of irregular with my streams recently, and that pattern is going to continue for at least another week because both Suris and I have other plans next Wednesday. I will be hosting whatever call-in show Jimmy it goes live on the line with Jimmy Snow on Wednesdays. Might be the Hang Up. I think it's the Hang Up. I don't know. I'll be co-hosting that one, and you'll be doing whatever the fuck.
I'll be at PAX East.
Sure.
I'll be gone.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, hey. So
we.
So before we get started with the actual news items, I want to start with my surprise news item. Did you know I had a surprise news item?
I didn't know you had a surprise news item.
I have a surprise news item.
You gave me two news items, and usually there's three, which means I was already kind of suspicious, but.
Yeah, so the surprise news item. Are you familiar with the Catholic prayer app Hallow?
Yes, I am.
Have you listened to any of the prayers on it?
No, I covered it when I got in because I have Daily Wire emails.
Yeah.
And I covered it when the Daily Wire sent me an email about Hallow, but I have not listened to any of the prayers.
Are you aware that Mark Wahlberg is available as one of the voices that will lead you in prayer?
Oh my god. It's not as good as having Danny DeVito lead you in prayer.
Is Danny DeVito on there too? Because I didn't even look for him.
I wish he was. Just being able... We are gathered here today!
No. We need Willem Dafoe.
Oh my god.
There was a Hail Mary!
Your mic clipped out.
Yes, it did. Yeah. I mean, you can't do a "there was a firefight" impression without clipping
a mic. You're gonna make me go watch Boondock.
Yeah, you need.
Again.
It doesn't hold up. It's very yikes.
I still want to watch it again.
Anyway, so Mark Wahlberg, Marky Mark, good old Marky Mark. You can get him to pray to you, and so I have some clips. Would you like to hear Mark Wahlberg praying for us, leading us in prayer?
You know what? I didn't have anything else planned today. Why not?
Okay, here we go.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
Why does that sound AI generated?
Okay, I love that you picked that out, because I've divided this into segments. That was him just sounding bored, like, what the fuck? I'm in the stupid booth, like, Hail Mary, Mother of God, blah, 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 blah. The fruit of your womb, Jesus. Like, it sounds like he has been forced to do this at gunpoint. And this is my favorite of him sounding bored. So this is my favorite clip from the whole thing right here. Just the beginning, the way he says Hail Mary here is just like,
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee.
Like, let's hurry the fuck up and get this over with. Hail Mary, full of grace.
Done.
It's like, I'm just done with this shit.
Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus.
Yeah. And then this is...
From there, he will come again to judge the living and the dead.
It's like, he's not having it.
You can't... I'm sorry, but maybe it's just the part of me that grew up in Baptist churches. But I'm used to hearing the boisterous fire and brimstone style of, like, just theatrics.
Yeah.
I'm used to the theatrics.
Yeah.
So
now
this makes me sad.
Regarding the AI generated thing, Naramda puts a saying Mark who? This is Mark Wahlberg. Marky Mark. Beat up a Vietnamese guy back in like the 80s or something. Had to issue an official apology for that when he got found out.
I believe in God.
Okay, so this is the I suspect this is AI generated section.
The Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth, and in Jesus Christ, his only Son.
You hear the
His only
son. Like
his only Son.
Like that he either got like hit in the chest while he was doing that, or it's AI generated. Or for some reason they applied pitch correction to him, which why would you need to pitch correct? Like, if you're going to pitch correct it, at least make him sound like he's enthusiastic.
Can I just say there's only one good thing for AI-generated voices? There's only one good bit of content that has ever come out of that, and that's the United States presidents playing Minecraft with each other.
I haven't seen that.
It is. There's United States presidents play Mario Party, U.S. presidents play Minecraft, U.S. presidents play Magic the Gathering, and they're all fucking great. Just hearing like Donald Trump and Joe Biden gang up on Ben Shapiro for playing blue in Magic is fucking great.
The resurrection of the body and life everlasting.
And the end life everlasting kind of has a little
And life everlasting.
and life everlasting. So, like I very much suspect that this is like I know there is video of him having officially endorsed this, and the video is not AI done, but like I suspect that like he gave them permission to use his voice for an AI generated thing, but like this is not actually him.
I feel like so it's either that it is AI generated and he endorsed it because they were like, hey, it's not even going to take you any of your time. Just we'll AI generate your voice and we'll pay you money. Just to say that you're doing it. It's either that, or he has children and they were locked up in a basement and they would not be released unless he gave these.
Yeah. All right, just a second.
Jack the Vulture says Ben Shapiro and Joe Rogan arguing over getting Ratatouille also killed me. I fucking loved that video so much. It was so good. So we'll say Catholics aren't good at theatrics in their sermons and prayers. The priests always sound bored. Yeah, you know. So I will say this. I will say this. I'm not saying that we should be improving the quality of church, because I don't know if we should really be encouraging a bunch of people to just bring more people to church personally. But if you're gonna have to be there, at least make it a show.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's Jono says that voice just sounds so done with all this. It's unintentionally hilarious.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like somebody phoning in their lines for a Family Guy skit, where they're just saying it as deadpan as they can so they can get their paycheck.
Michael Jackson's spoken lines when he guested on The Simpsons. He was not good. And apparently, from what I heard, he was kind of a nightmare to work with as well. And like all the other voice actors, they were like excited to meet Michael, but they weren't allowed in the studio when he was there. So he just recorded his lines himself and just walked out. And like I think everything was like one take, and he's gone.
That's weird. I mean, maybe it's just that like.
I mean, it was Michael Jackson. He doesnning exactly have a reputation for not being weird.
I mean, look, it's not that you're wrong, okay? Dean Amy in my chat said, hold up, just got back. Who are you with? Nobody. I mean, sorry, I'm here with Vice Rhino. Different question. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Sorry for what?
That you're sad?
I'm not sad.
Okay. Then I'm not sorry.
Stuck. I mean, I'm here with you.
Okay. I'm stuck in the middle with you.
I'm golden.
Oh, and then The Simpsons parodied that with Krusty doing the exact same. So was that when you came in to record the voice for the doll thing? That was supposed to be the parody of how Michael Jackson treated them in the studio? That's amazing.
Oh my God.
Because that I did not know. I'm up there on my Simpsons trivia. Yeah, no, anyone else seeing the black vertical line?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a black vertical line on the right-hand side of my artifact in our thing.
Is it all gone now?
Yes.
Okay.
I wasn't going to say anything. I thought it was funny.
Okay. Well, I mean, I missed that last time we streamed as well. Like, I noticed it like 3/4 of the way through the stream, and I was like, it's been there this whole time. May as well just leave it.
In my chat, Avalon of Babylon says, "Can you put the Sonic onesie back on?" Haha! No.
Just wait till they see how I positioned everything for when we read the news articles.
Wait, what? Oh, yeah, that.
All right. So we're going to start with the anti-drag bill. There we go. Articles. There we go. There. Now my chat gets to hover over your boobs. So everybody tweet out like the high five thing, and did I just refer to chatting in my live chat as tweeting out?
Yes, you did.
I'm such a boomer sometimes.
Is that a boomer thing? I think
Well,
that's
just like getting your platforms mixed up.
I don't
I sent
know.
a tweet out on my YouTubes.
Have you know I sent out one of them Bumble messages on Facebook.
Okay, so when I'm on, I refuse to, like Bumble is the worst for like their advertisements on TikTok. Like, I don't know. Oh, god damn it! My stupid chat thing doesn't show the emoticons. It just says hand pink waving.
Aw, see, I get the emotions on mine.
That's
And
unfortunate.
we have the same chat.
Yeah, that's weird. Well, I mean, are you using Stream Elements?
Oh no, I'm not. You're right.
Okay, the double, these hands are working. I guess maybe
So some
okay.
of them are.
Yeah, so I guess Stream Elements has a different set
Set
of
restrictions.
emoticons that work.
Oh boy.
Anyway, I forget what I was saying. I was saying something. So yeah, we got to do more of these hands, but there needs to be like spaces so that it gets out in front of Suris's boobs.
Why are we trying to get my editor's gonna have a fucking field day with this.
Okay. Lawmaker sees anti-drag bill raises with religious indoctrination ban. Oh, that's a poker reference. I see your anti-drag bill, and I raise you a religious indoctrination ban. That's the tone of voice I should have been using there.
I think I covered something about this a few weeks ago, actually. Unless this has just happened again, and this is just going to be the standard.
Well, I mean, this is from back in January, so
likely then.
Yeah, it's possible that you've covered it before, but like, I don't know. I didn't look at the date until just now. I just kind of assumed that it was new.
Okay, so fun fact, I had a moment like that actually on stream yesterday, I believe, because I covered that I believe it was in Nebraska, where the woman tried to sue on behalf of God all homosexuals. And it was from 2015. And I had no idea.
Oh, we got one. We got one. We got the boobs. We got the boobs. And now you're wiggling them around. So congratulations, progress only. You get 1 million rhino points for getting Suris's boobs.
Oh my god. You know, I can just
rub them.
I just scoot my happy ass out this way.
No, come back. Come back.
No. I'm just gonna have to do this entire stream like I'm that one neighbor from Home Improvement.
Wilson.
Yeah, I'm just gonna quote Sun Tzu at you now for the rest of the stream. Is that okay?
Sure, why not?
And you're gonna have to be the one that pieces it together in some cryptic way so that we can have some type of learning moment at the end of the stream.
Or I'll just ignore you.
So what's different? What changes?
I don't know. I've got a mute button over here. I can just mute you.
That's fair. That's
But I mean, I'm on your stream too, so you can turnabout's fair play or whatever.
Yeah, you know, you're right. We can just literally mute each other and then do our stream separately as if the other one isn't there. We're just inconveniently in Zoom with each other.
Sure, why not? Conservatives in Nebraska legislature recently proposed a bill that would make it a crime for children to attend a drag show. Megan Hunt is fighting back. She's senator. She's a state senator. Megan Hunt is fighting back by amending the anti-drag bill to ban children from attending vacation Bible study or any similar religious indoctrination camp. So they say it's a completely serious attempt to address a completely fictional problem. And the way the bill defines drag show is any performance in which the person exhibits a gender identity that is different than the performer's gender assigned at birth using clothing, makeup, or other physical markers.
Therefore, we can no longer have people go to historically accurate Shakespeare.
Yep. That's what it says. So badly and broadly defined that Shakespeare plays are now outlawed, as well as any like productions of the musical Hairspray.
Yep.
So yeah, like it's always amazing to me that when these types of bills are proposed, they just never think of the obvious things that are being banned under these bills that are just like absolutely not that.
I mean,
Like,
so the thing is though is that they largely don't care, and the reason for that, did you hear about the 2,600 email leaks that were just found between conservative pundits and politicians?
was it the email leaks or was it the Fox News back end, like the
No,
WhatsApp thing that
the
I think that
the
came out in
Fox.
Discovery for something?
So the Fox News one was about how everybody at Fox News knew that their coverage of January 6th was bullshit, and it's the reason why Fox News is bringing in more stuff from January 6th right now in order to cover their ass and be like, actually, look at all of this stuff that shows that none of the things you actually saw happen on Jan 6
That's right.
happened.
Les Miserables is illegal under this because a key part of that is Eponine dresses up as a boy to sneak back onto the barricade.
Yeah, it's all illegal now.
Yeah.
But no, the 2,600 email thing. There was in 2019, there was a politician named, I can't remember his first name, but his last name was Deutsch, and he proposed the first gender affirming care ban that we started seeing in state legislature. It was an uncommon thing at the time, and there's an email string because there was a an army veteran that was a detransitioner that was part of this group of people that were all selected to help Deutsch write the legislation and then spearhead the current swath of anti-trans bills that we've been seeing in the United States. And it shows like it shows basically just a whole bunch of figures from the religious right, from like the Heritage Foundation, the Alliance Defending Freedom, most of the major names that push a lot of this propaganda, the think tanks. It was all email correspondence between them and various politicians on how to word their bills so that they could get more votes, so that they could get more money. The way that we even got those in the first place, that's the reason to like I'm not surprised that things like this actually are so broad. That's kind of the point. They care only that it gets in the news and people talk about it because that's what gives them votes. That's what gives them money. They get donations when people see that they're doing the good work. This has started in 2019. It's coalescing now. I mean, Deutsche actually finally got his ban through at the end of 2022. But the reason we got these emails in the first place was the army vet that was part of this group as a detransitioner, as one of their like speakers that would go into courtroom cases, actually like started rescinding everything that the group espoused and started retransitioning, and then pulled all of the emails from their archive from these conversations they'd been part of, because it was all group emails, and just blasted them out. So if you go to on Mother Jones actually has a link to the entire email archive. It's a fascinating rabbit hole.
So Scott Delahunt says, "Won't someone please think of the kilts?"
Remember, there's a difference between a kilt and a skirt. What the difference is, I don't fucking know, but I've been assured there is one.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. Lord of Uzkalak says, "You know, America might not have this issue if they had a history of panto." I assume that's pantomime. Well, here's the thing. I actually, not too long ago, I saw a video of World War II fundraising movie that was produced in the United States, and they used soldiers from the front line, and they put on a drag show. And it was explicit, like they explicitly had children in the audience of the drag show. Like the movie was like of a stage production, and they had kids in the audience that they like would have come up and be like, "Oh, well, that was a good show, blah, 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 blah." And it's like, and these are like frontline soldiers who were wearing dresses and makeup, who right after they were done filming that, took off their dresses and makeup and went back to fighting Nazis.
Well, because once upon a time, drag. I remember growing up in the 90s and early 2000s, going to a drag show.
Was Ronald Reagan in that?
Yeah, Ronald. This is the Army featuring Ronald Reagan.
I didn't even know that Ronald Reagan was in it.
My, how things have changed. But no, this is I remember in the early 2000s when I was in high school, friends of mine would literally go to drag shows just for shits and giggles. This is in Pensacola, Florida. It's a pretty conservative area, but they would just go for fun and it wasn't considered like a faux pas thing. You just went and you were like, hey, that was an interesting experience, and that was about as far as it went. Like the actual Satanic Panic 3 or whatever you want to call it, Satanic Panic 1 for D&D, 2 for Pokemon, and 3 for drag shows, I guess. It that hadn't come in full swing yet. So just like even in really conservative religious areas, going to a show like that was just considered a fucking funny thing that you did, and that was only a little over a decade ago. Like that narrative has shifted so far. It's kind of whiplashy.
Oh my God, there's actually a picture of Ronald Reagan in drag.
Yeah, your Google search history is never going to recover from that, by the way.
Yeah, I've literally just searched for Ronald Reagan in drag. Wow, that's like, okay. Next, someone has to bring this up next time somebody proposes one of these anti-drag bills. I'm like, you do know that Ronald Reagan, this guy that's basically worshipped as a god by the GOP, performed in a drag show for children.
Nah, he was grooming them. It was during the time where his mental was slipping and his wife was taking control of everything.
It was before he was president.
No, don't you dare try to do that. He was perfect, just like Jesus.
until he started slipping. Yeah, Google Ronald Reagan's signature over time. That's fun.
Oof.
Yeah. So anyways, State Senator Dave Merman said, I think the vast majority of Nebraskans would agree that sexualized dancing and enhanced genitals is not appropriate for children to view, he declared. Following that up by saying he's never been to a drag show, but he's seen videos of it on social media.
So he's seen the most extreme versions of
he's
these
seen
things.
the most extreme, like, one show that happened out of the thousands of shows that have happened.
The one where like the person was walking around with like there was one where like everybody was emulating a bunch of like people cosplaying Satan and demons, and there was like the birthing of the Antichrist live on stage. Like that was one, and there was one where like one of the drag performers had tits in a TV window as part of their drag performance. Like, yeah, maybe stuff like that is a little less appropriate for kids, but that's not every drag show. In fact, that's not the vast majority of drag shows. Also, enhanced genitalia. I have not seen a lot of drag outfits with that, but okay.
Yeah, no, I don't even know what that would be referring to.
Behold, the curtains of beef are larger. I guess. I don't know. Like, it's either that or a giant sausage. I don't know what they want. Enhanced genitalia. It's enchanted for +3 to hit. Guys, it's a buff for 10 turns. The Vagubu gets +2 accuracy.
I don't know what conversation's going on in my chat because I got distracted by Ronald Reagan and drag. But Blade Runner says no, and shouldn't there be some slammed in the butt title? So that's a nice little what's his face reference. You know the guy.
Stoff in my chat actually is a drag performance. It's enhanced genitalia, probably meaning breastplates or packers. If somebody considers anything you put on your chest genitalia, unless it's put on there by another person, I'm sorry, no. But yeah, packers, I can see that. I can see packers. Pussy of protection +5 to defense.
Okay, Oh shit! I wasn't supposed to do that. I don't know what sort of weird shit's going to show up in my recommendations, but I'm going to the YouTube video.
Oh no! Oh, we get to see Ronald Reagan.
But I can pause it like every 2 seconds, and maybe let's play it fast.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to get taken off.
Well.
Yeah. So these are all frontline soldiers from World War II, except for maybe Ronald Reagan, I guess.
Is he Admiral Bonespurs the First?
I don't know. I don't know which one of these is Ronald.
But Rhino, I've been told we can always tell.
Yeah, I don't... like, think. Wait. Is it this one? The one on the right? Is that Ronald?
I don't know.
What did Ronald Reagan look like? Ronald Reagan.
I don't remember. Let's go find some Republicans altered.
Young Ronald Reagan. So that's young Ronald Reagan. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if he didn't have the enhanced genitalia. Okay.
Obviously, every single one of them was grooming. Every one of them.
Yeah.
At least that's what I've been told.
Yeah. So yeah, child-friendly drag performances exist. They don't involve anything sexual, but conservatives equate LGBTQ everything with sex because they know their right-wing base will just eat it up without a second thought. So Senator Megan Hunt filed a motion to amend the bill, which says that there's a well-documented history of indoctrination and sexual abuse perpetrated by religious leaders and clergy people upon children. Where does it happen? Church camps, religious retreats, vacation Bible study, church lock-ins, Christian youth conventions. Therefore, no individual under 19 years of age shall be present at a religious indoctrination camp. Any person 19 years of age or older who knowingly brings an individual under 19 years of age to a religious indoctrination camp shall be guilty of a Class 1 misdemeanor, which has a $10,000 fine. So yeah, basically, she's taking advantage of the fact that the conservatives want the media coverage for this to hijack that media coverage and be like, well, if you actually care about protecting children, how about we protect children from these institutions that actually have a history of not only there being sexually abusive people in positions of power in these institutions, but when they're found out, protecting them and hiding the information and getting the victims to sign NDAs and shit like that. Like, why don't we actually deal with that instead of the drag queens, which I've never heard of a kid actually being molested at a drag show. Not saying it has never happened, but it certainly happens way more frequently at church camps than it does at drag shows.
It's almost like at a drag show, parents typically are present. They tend to be supervising their kids the entire time, and when the drag show's over, they go home. Whereas at a church camp, they're there among counselors and other people of the same age for about, sometimes a week. It was a week for me whenever I was at Camp of the Pines. So, like, I don't know, maybe something about there being a larger opportunity of power, of exposure, and power imbalance being there for longer versus a parent literally being present the whole time. I don't know. One of these definitely seems perfectly reasonable. The other one seems maybe a little more dangerous than the other one, but who knows?
Yeah. So, yeah, it was basically saying that, like, if you're a progressive legislator surrounded by conservatives, you have to do everything in your power to prevent bad bills from passing. And, this is probably not going to kill the bill, and it's probably not going to, like, her amendment's not going to pass for sure. But it's bringing attention to the fact that they don't actually care about protecting children. They only care about squishing anything they perceive as LGBTQ, which drag shows aren't even that necessarily.
No, they're not. There's actually, awkwardly, there's a lot of transphobia that goes on in drag shows, awkwardly.
I could see that. Like that could be part of the humor of the show. I could easily see that happening.
No, I mean, like, there's actually from what I've heard from friends of mine who actually do drag shows, there actually is a bit of a stigma against trans people within the circle of performers sometimes. It's like a more common thing than it should be.
Yeah.
So it's still it makes it really weird that conservatives harp on drag shows so much as like these representations of trans culture.
Yeah.
When they're not.
Yeah. No, they're not. My understanding is that most drag queens are not actually trans.
No, most
they're just guys who like to put on dresses and perform.
I mean, that's one of the reasons why there's different categories for drag that include things like skag as well, where they've got just the full beards and everything while they're doing everything as well. Like, because it's not a trans thing; it's just performative cross-dressing.
Speaking of performative, okay, this is not related to anything that we're talking about, but I did see it today, and because I saw it today, I have to make you all aware of it today. But apparently on the French version of America's Got Talent, or I guess it would be France Has Talent or whatever, one of the performers got up on stage and played a recorder with her vagina. Like, stuck the mouthpiece in, hung herself upside down, suspended from two chairs, and played the recorder, and she played Frere Jacques. Did you see that video? Robert Reed commented on it. That's why I saw it.
Thanks, Robert. I appreciate you as a person. I'm gonna just cleanse my mind real quick. There we go. And deleted.
Do you have to link to that for research? No, I don't. If you go to Twitter and search for Robert Reed, you'll have to look at replies. I don't think he retweeted. Actually, he might have retweeted it. I don't remember.
I just want to know how you manage that.
That is impressive, says the woodwind player.
Yeah,
technically that's the ultimate woodwind instrument. Darren Marsh says the queef organ.
It gives a completely new definition to the word sex flute.
Oh. Yeah, it was fun. Anyway, shall we go to the next story?
What's wrong with the world?
Should we go to the next story?
Does the next story get us far enough away from the flute playing vagina?
It gets us to a bill that bans science in Montana.
Huh. Okay. I'll take it.
Yeah, so draft bill sponsored by Republican State Senator Daniel Emmerich would effectively destroy science classes through the state by requiring them to teach scientific fact and nothing else. Because he apparently... So
what is a scientific fact?
As opposed to a theory. Okay, so he says a scientific fact is observable and repeatable, while a scientific theory is purely speculative. So this is where, like, I on my channel years ago, I basically stopped correcting the theory versus fact thing unless the creationist brought it up explicitly, because it's just one of those things that it's so basic. It's literally just look up the fucking definition. That's not what it means. It's just so basic.
Except we have this shit happening still.
Yeah.
Therefore,
and then I see this and I'm like, do I need to still do that? Do I need to still waste time being like, hey, a theory is actually an explanation for a body of facts and observations and stuff like that?
We got to remember is that, so in an ideal world, everybody who you present to on your channel knows this stuff. In an ideal world, they know this at a base level. The reality is the purpose of content like yours and content like mine largely is to outreach beyond the people who do know that at a base level.
Yeah, that's actually one of my favorite things about my shorts is that they are, because it's a new format and it's actually reaching, the people that watch my regular videos, that's largely my core audience. They're the people that watch all the videos, all the same things, and they basically agree with me. Most of the people that watch my videos are people that agree with me. My shorts, I've been noticing they get a lot more comments that disagree with me.
You and me both.
So it's okay, the shorts are how I reach the new audience, and maybe something will pique their interest and they'll click on a link and actually see one of the longer videos.
It took me about a month of uploading shorts before I started noticing that trend on my end as well. Where I would do a short on Matt Walsh, and then a bunch of his fanboys would come in, or a short on Andrew Tate, and a bunch of his fanboys would come in.
Andrew Tate?
Look, I don't want to think about that part of him. But
no, it's not that part of him. It's that he is entirely taint.
He is the taint.
He is the human personification of a taint.
I would just say he just taints everything. The minute you want to say something positive about masculinity, somebody goes, "Oh, what about Andrew Tate?" Haha, not him. Go away.
Wait, people bring him up when you suggest positive masculinity?
Yes, there are people. So the perception of him.
Okay, so since we're speaking about Andrew Tate and positive masculinity, I'm going to drink some nuts out of my dark matter cup.
There you go. Just drink some good nuts. But no, the perception of him to people who are not, to people who don't understand the shit that he's doing, that it's all misogyny and MLMs and stuff like that. People who don't realize that on the surface, they see Andrew Tate as a healthy, successful businessman whose goal it is to make other people healthy, successful businessmen in a world where feminism has tainted discourse. That is largely the opinion of him within like the manosphere circles that tend to feature him very positively. Only reason I know this is a combination of going down those rabbit holes myself for the content I've been making recently, and also the fact that his fucking fans have told me that in my comments. Like that's the view of him within that sphere of the internet. So like for you and me, we see him and we're like, oh look, a disgusting piece of human being who allegedly is a human trafficker.
Most you mean allegedly? Didn't he get arrested for that? Well, I suppose until the trial.
Until the trial.
It's still allegedly.
Until the trial. And allegedly a sex trafficker, and allegedly a rapist, and allegedly the list goes on.
It's over
like we see that person and we're like, yeah, no, there's this laundry list of reasons why this is a scummy piece of shit. But somebody in that manosphere who like watched a bunch of Joe Rogan clips and then found themselves on that side of the internet, they see people like him and Jordan Peterson as people to aspire to, whereas we see them as jokes.
So I was watching a porn video the other day.
Oh, excellent. That's a great way to begin that.
And yeah, no, it was one where like it starts off with the performers just like kind of shooting the shit, and it's like I kind of like that. Like you get to hear a little bit of the real. Well, in theory, it's the real, or we all know that it's still performative even when they're pretending not to be. But like it wasn't an act. It was like this is like it's just some conversation before the act, sort of thing. And so one of the women brings up is like they started joking about Andrew Tate, and like they started talking about how like, oh well, you know, he says some controversial stuff, but like he's just joking around when that stuff. And like, okay, I know that's the regular defense, is that like anytime he says anything extreme that is obviously yikes, that was a joke, wink wink. But then they follow that up with like, oh, but he's actually got some really good ideas. I'm like, nope.
Which ones?
I nothing else about this video matters. I cannot complete the act with that knowledge in my head. So like exit, that one's done. I would have rather watched Two Girls, One Cup.
Unironically, back when I was vice president of Computer Club in high school, I actually had 2 videos saved onto an SD card. And my Wii was hacked, still is hacked. I still have the same Wii. And it can play videos off of the SD card, because that's one of the things that the Wii was apparently capable of, so long as you modded it to do it.
Yeah.
The 2 videos were meant to get everybody's attention during meetings when everybody was doing their own shit. Video 1 was Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up. That was the one for playing in school. But if we were at a friend's house or my house or wherever, and we needed to have a meeting that was off campus, the video that played was Two Girls, One Cup.
Nice.
Either way, it did its job. It always did its job.
Yep.
Shut that shit off. Are you paying attention? Cool. I can. But no, like whenever somebody does that whole like, hey, Andrew Tate actually has a whole bunch of good points, the follow-up's always, okay, but which ones? Like which good points does he have? And when he says those good points, is he doing the Jordan Peterson thing where he says something that like you kind of want to agree with, but the way he says it enables literally the worst fucking people in the entire world?
Well, I've said it before, but like Jordan Peterson, the 12 Rules for Life, if you go through that book and just read the chapter titles, it's actually decent advice. It's just as soon as you get past the chapter titles, it's like, oh no, this is not good.
Like I recently went over his he has this speech, this like whole diatribe he goes on to with Joe Rogan about being a monster. And his verbiage is like, you should be a monster and then learn how to control it. That's how to be a guy. And I'm like, no. You should have a monster in your pocket. You should have the ability to defend people around you that matter. And it sounds like a penis, I know. It also sounds like a Pokemon.
That's what I thought you were talking about, actually.
But it's like I understand the point you're trying to make is that people should have the ability to defend themselves and the people they love. That's the point you're trying to make. But when you say the lines, you should be a monster and control it, that sounds like you're asking people to take on that monstrous persona as part of their identity. And that's how you create people who do shit like join the Unite the Right rally. Like,
yeah.
Versus people who are willing to exercise that part of themselves by going to a protest. That's a different thing. it's a manifestation of the same thing, but the way you communicate that message is very fucking telling.
Yeah. Anyway, we're talking about science class.
We were.
So what I like. So this is a Hemant Meta article, and so he immediately goes to, like, when talking about difference between theory and fact, he immediately goes to, that's nonsense, of course, since the theory of evolution and climate change, just to name two examples, have mountains of evidence supporting them to the point where they're foregone conclusions, but they could theoretically be discredited by evidence to the contrary. So this is where, like, I see what he's doing, but like he picked two theories that, like, those are the ones that they don't want to teach. Those are the targets of this bill. So, like, go with something that they can all agree with, like the theory of gravity. You agree that gravity is a thing, right? Because that's a theory.
And yet, they decided to go with this. That just... What was it? What was it? Texas or was it Arkansas? Like 2 years ago, that tried to get the flood myth brought into, like, the actual school curriculum. I don't remember which one it was.
I don't recall.
It could have been either, honestly.
I can tell you, though, that growing up, I thought that Arkansas and Arkansas were two different states.
They're not?
Because Arkansas is spelled Arkansas. Arkansas, not Kansas.
But it's all our Kansas, just like Japan is our Japan, and the United Kingdom is our United Kingdom. Everything's America, Rhino. You're in our Canada.
Yeah, you said urine.
God damn it. Our Kansas.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not. Don't lie.
You're right, I'm not. I'm sorry for lying.
No, you're not.
I mean, a little bit. Don't shake your tits at me, young man.
I tried to just shake my head, but it doesn't work that way. The hair sways.
You're just trying to shake your head no, but it comes across as a sexy...
So, like, the reason it does that is the only thing that controls the entire model is my face and facial expressions. So, like, when I try just to shake my face, the entire body goes with it because my face is the thing puppeting the entire rig. That's how it works. I can't help it. I was
get a
made
better
this
rig.
way.
Get a better rig.
I was drawn this way.
Okay, so the NCSE National Center for Science Education pointed out that the draft that this legislation would fly in the face of the state's own current standards, which state the two theories, like it specifically gives examples of the Big Bang Theory and the theory of plate tectonics as theories that are currently taught, and like that's like those are examples of things that would be taught to meet the standards. It's like, so if this bill passes, then their science standards are out the window. And
I still want to know what the fuck a science fact is.
Okay, Hemant, this isn't your best work, man. He says the irony is that people who challenge science are usually people who believe mythology is the best replacement for it. Yes, that's the point. Like, that's not ironic. That's the goal. They don't believe in the science. They want to replace it with the mythology. That's just the goal. They just don't say it out loud.
That's the reason we've had, like, what, at least 3 separate Supreme Court trials about these kinds of education standards in the United States, and they always tend to revolve around either creationism or they'll reword it. Was it creationism first, and then was reworded into something else? It was intelligent design and creationism, and one of them came first, and it was literally they reworded everything that was creationism into intelligent design, or the other way around. I can't remember.
Creationism came first. Intelligent design was the one that went to trial in Kitzmiller versus Dover. And so, like, even now, like, if you, like, oh, what's his face? I did a video about him recently. Michael Behe. If you talk to Michael Behe, he'll tell you that he accepts evolution. He believes in common descent. He just thinks that, like, evolution was guided by God. Like, you can't explain evolution without God, in his opinion. But he believes in evolution, and he will tell you that, like, no, I am not a creationist. I just believe in intelligent design. And people have latched on to that wording, and they ignore the fact that he believes in evolution. Like, my favorite is that, like, Michael Behe and Ken Miller, both diametrically opposed on this issue. Ken Miller's the guy that took Behe's mousetrap analogy, and he's like, well, if I take the trigger bar thing, whatever, off a mousetrap, it might not work as a mousetrap, but here I can use it as a tie clip, sort of thing. So like Ken Miller has provided counterexamples to Michael Behe's example, but they are both Catholic, and it's really fun to read about them on Answers in Genesis website, because like AIG will, like, when they're talking about Michael Behe, right up at the top of the article, it's the Catholic evolutionist Michael Behe, or no, not Michael Behe, the other one, Ken Miller. Like when talking about Ken Miller, it's the Catholic evolutionist Ken Miller, and when they're talking about Michael Behe, it's like 3/4 of the way down the article, they briefly mention, oh yeah, he's Catholic, and he wrote his book proving that God needs to, like, demonstrating that you need to explain God, or like how this could happen without God in terms of evolution. And like that's like his being Catholic means that he believes in the same God as us, but that's like 3/4 of the way down the article. But like with the guy they disagree with, they put it right up at the top. He's Catholic.
Just
And it's like,
can
they use
we
the
get
term
another
Catholic
Scopes
evolutionist.
monkey trial,
The
please?
term Catholic evolutionist applies equally to both of them.
but it just depends on which way they want to spin it. I'm just gonna say this right now. We should just call it the tabloid AIG.
Yeah, I can drink more nuts. I don't know. Got my Dark Matter 2525 mug.
Oh, that reminds me. I need to catch up on the Power Corrupt series.
Yeah, I haven't.
More. Actually, I say I need to catch up on it. I just need to restart that series from the beginning, and get up to where it is right now. Because like it's a good fucking series.
It is, and when once you forget what's happened, it's like you can't go back in the middle. You have to.
Because it's a very layered series, and it is not told in chronological order.
No, it's not. Anyway, let's get on to some tweets. Twitty tweets. So Dr. Anastasia Maria Lupus says, people want real food. No one wants Bill Gates' fake meat or Klaus Schwab's insects.
But the fake meat is made from real food.
It's made from soy, Suris. It's not meat.
But soy is real food.
So are insects.
Yeah.
Like, so what's really funny about
You're not
this...
going to make me eat the bugs, Rhino!
Okay, so I didn't take a screenshot of what this was a reply to. You want to take a guess at what was said before this?
I couldn't even fathom.
Someone posted a picture of Elon Musk wearing 2 hats when he was like 17 years old. And Elon Musk replied to that with like, oh yeah, if I recall correctly, that was the day we did a barn raise. And that action made me have real appreciation for farmers and the hard work they do.
Oh, so we've just got a virtue signaler here.
Yeah, so from that, she
That's what
went
this is.
immediately to... And she retweeted herself with this. She thought it was so good that it deserved a retweet all by itself. And, like, on top of that, like, no one wants Bill Gates' fake meat. I don't know why Bill Gates has to do with... Like, does he own a fake meat company?
No, it's that, so it's because of the conspiracy that Bill Gates is trying to lower the population.
I figured it had something to do with that, but I, like, you know, he's a billionaire. He has a bunch of stake in a bunch of different companies, and, like, maybe he owns one of the fake meat ones, too. But, like, my daughter wants the fake meat because she's a vegetarian. And you know what? You can be a vegetarian without fake meat. It's actually not that hard. But as a parent, when I'm cooking meals for my kids, it's so much easier if I'm like doing chicken fingers for the boys. I have the fake meat chicken fingers that I can cook for Lily as well. So you
that way nobody feels like they're left out there.
Well, it's not even a matter of being left out. It's just a matter of like they all go in the oven at the same time and the same temperature for the same amount of time, and everybody's dinner's ready at the same time. And you know, if the cookie sheet's big enough, I don't even need to put them on separate sheets. So like, it's less dishes. It just makes everything easier.
When I had my so when we used to prepare for Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments, the ones that we'd have to go like cross country to get to, regional championships and stuff like that. Everybody did not have the same diet. We actually had one guy who was vegetarian in the group there. So like whenever I'd prepare meals for us over at my house, it'd literally be like, okay, guys, I'm making spaghetti. There's 2 things of sauce here. They're seasoned the same way. they are prepared the same way, but the meat's going in one pot and it's not going in the other pot. That way everybody can have food still. It's not difficult.
Also, to give a bit of a sneak peek to the video that I'm working on now, it's like a one world order conspiracy theory type video. Actually, the original video no longer exists. Like, I downloaded it, and then like a couple days later, it was gone. So, hopefully mine stays up, because YouTube is really good at telling the difference between someone spreading misinformation and someone correcting misinformation. But
yeah, it's really great at that.
But anyway, they bring up the insect thing and the vegetarian thing, and it's like, okay, so as far as insects are concerned, there are cultures all over the world that have been eating insects for longer than white people have existed. And then it's just us white people that come along and we're like, ew, gross, you're eating bugs. It's like, but like...
Just ask somebody, do they like shrimp?
Yeah, or lobster.
Do
those
they
are
like
those are
lobster?
arthropods. They are bugs.
Yeah, they're the only difference. Like the only thing that kind of peeves me off of trying to eat most insects is I don't want to eat the shell, because I don't want to eat shrimp shell for the exact same reasons. I don't like the texture. It screws with me. For some reason, my friend Wayne from Sunset City, who apparently just like didn't eat shrimp, just ate shrimp with the shell on when we were at freaking the when we were at, it was either the Too Many Games convention or the Sonic convention here in Marietta. It was one of the two. I don't remember which one, but I just remember him just eating the shrimp with the shell on. I'm just sitting there like, no, please don't do this to yourself. You're killing the Floridian in me.
Yeah, Schrodinger's cat says, I doubt white people are the only ones that don't like bugs. Yeah, no, I'm sure there are other cultures that also don't eat bugs, that also don't like bugs, but like, it's an American dude making a video. Like, it's mostly white people making a fuss about it. And there's also like this hint of race, like, actually in this video's case, it's very overt.
Yeah,
racism that goes on there. So it's like, I'm not saying that the other races can't be racist, but like, I'm not one of them, so I'm not going to comment on. Like, I can talk about white people because I'm one of them. White people suck. I can say that. Anyway, Scott Dillahunt says, whatever happened to Schmeat, the meat made from stem cells grown in a lab? My understanding is that it's still like that is a good idea, but it's got some scale issues. Like, it doesn't scale up as easily as we would like. So it's kind of hard to be profitable with that. Anyway, yeah, so like, I've eaten insects before myself. My daughter, actually, before she was vegetarian, she had a birthday party, but like, she went through a stage when she was younger where she wanted to be an entomologist when she grew up. And so she wanted to have an insect-themed birthday party once, and we had crickets as a snack for the kids there. And all the kids tried them. Some of them liked them, some of them didn't. But they all tried them. And
I think the only insect I think I have eaten offhand, not counting, like ones from the sea. I think ants. Ants are the only ones I can think of offhand.
I've never tried ants. I did when I was a teenager. I tried fried mealworms, like the whole worms. Fry them up with some butter. I remember
they smell like peanut butter.
I remember them tasting like popcorn.
Yeah, they taste like. So actually, let me scratch that. I've had mealworms as well. They smell like peanut butter. I don't understand why they smell like peanut butter.
I also burnt the chocolate-covered crickets when I tried to make them. So they didn't taste good, but that might be my fault. Anyway, okay, so this one was funny. I'm not reading all these tweets, but I came across this, and there were like 4 or 5 more tweets in this thread that I couldn't fit in the screenshot, but it's like, this person says, some of the silenced journalists include, some of the silenced scientists include, some of the silenced MDs include, and then he lists all these people that have currently active Twitter handles that if you click on those handles, they'll be full of all the stuff that they're supposedly being silenced from being allowed to say. And what's great is like, even like in these tweets, they will say like, where's one of them's a podcaster. Yeah, so like, this person up here, real Urim Warfare? Real Germ Warfare says, podcast host who fearlessly questions everything. And yeah, guess what? You click on their profile, they have a link to their website where they have an RSS link to their podcast, which is available for all the major podcast players, but they're silenced?
I remember there was a Matt Walsh video that got like 2.6 million views.
Yes.
It was literally titled
They're
I'm being silenced.
Yes, I saw that. I didn't see the video, but I saw the screenshot. It's like, no, you're not.
Fun shit. So I can't say the person's name because they work as a security guard. But they're currently at the or they did a thing at the Reagan Ranch, and they're all of the conservative voices there that are going there to like present, and the only noteworthy one I think is just Reagan's son this time, thankfully. But literally, I just was getting updates from them during the event, and one of the updates is just like, the speaker just told this entire group of young people that the left has taken away their First Amendment rights and none of them are allowed to speak their mind, which is really weird considering they're at this convention speaking their mind.
Yep.
But it's easier to sell a lie, I guess.
Yeah, like it's just hilarious to like, if they're being silenced, why are their Twitter handles all active? Like, you'd think you'd click on them and be like, oh, this account doesn't exist because they were silenced. But no, they're still being loud. Like, I got to this person through this person's Twitter. Like, I was on this person's timeline, and they retweeted the silenced MDs that they are included. Dr. Lupus, second in the list of the silenced MDs. It was like, I got to this list from her tweeting about a bunch of shit. She's not silenced. Like, maybe the scientists aren't allowed, like, they can't publish their research that is not actually good research in the peer-reviewed journals because it doesn't meet the standards.
But that would be true for literally anything we brought into those journals.
Yeah, that's like, you don't automatically have a right to publish anything in a journal. Like, if I try to submit a paper, it will be denied because I can't write a scientific paper. That does not mean I'm being silenced. That means I have to earn my way into that exclusive club. Like, if anyone could publish in a peer-reviewed journal, then the whole point of the peer review system would be gone.
It's easier, though, to just operate under the assumption that your side is being silenced, because if you can't get your ideas out there the legitimate way, then the best way to sell your ideas to somebody is to convince everybody that your ideas are so dangerous to the mainstream. They would disrupt the status quo so much, and you're such a rebel. Oh, aren't you just so special? It's easier to sell that idea than it is to actually do the work properly.
Yeah, well, I mean, along similar lines, the conspiracy guy that I'm responding to, there was a surprising number of times where, like, he would make a point and be like, and I would be like, yeah, I completely agree with that. The World Economic Forum is kind of shit. They should not have the power that they have. But, like, it's not because they're a secret cabal of Jews that are running the world without our knowledge. It's because they're a powerful lobby group, and there's an issue with lobbyists having too much power in politics. So it's like, if you maybe didn't surround your criticism of the World Economic Forum with a bunch of bullshit conspiracy nonsense, then we have an actual problem that we can present solutions for and try to solve this problem and make the world a better place. But because you're surrounding it by all the bullshit that is clearly false, like, my favorite is, there's a Henry Kissinger quote that when I wanted to see the quote in context, see if he was actually talking about that. Because Henry Kissinger, very problematic dude. Like, he accomplished some pretty good shit in his lifetime, but he's also, like, was more than happy to turn a blind eye to genocides and war crimes and stuff that were happening in the United States allies and be like, oh yeah, no, we don't need to involve ourselves with that. We can just let them keep doing that. There's a recording of him basically saying, I don't care if the Soviets gas the Jews. And considering he is a Jew that literally escaped from Nazi Germany in the 1930s, that's a weird thing for him to have said. So, like, he's not a good guy. You can find bad things that he said, no problem. But this one quote, it originates on a satire article in 2011. And then there's another quote that I found from the same article that's him basically saying is like, oh, you know, when this whole thing finally happens, it's going to be like we're the sharpshooter just daring the noob to pick up the gun, and when he does, bang bang. And it's like, I don't think Henry Kissinger is talking in terms of noobs.
Right now, I'm just here to tell you right now, the world makes me tired.
Yeah. Anyway, gays against groomers. So, this is funny because these guys say, did you hear about Scott Wiener's new book that just came out? It's called How to Legally Kidnap Children by Scott Wiener, and at the top it says SB 107. I could not find any evidence of this book actually existing. I guess I cropped it off a little too high. If you go down a little bit on the image, that the girl that's being kidnapped is actually like wearing a trans
because it's
flag
not
shirt.
it's not a book. It's literally just the bill that Scott proposed to allow trans kids to have refuge and asylum in his state.
Yeah. So here's the thing: if you read, in a reply to this, the Gays Against Groomers, they link to an article that's obviously very much against trans rights, where they talk about how like this bill would allow California to essentially kidnap children from their legal parents and guardians in other states. And I read the bill. That's not what it does. Like, I'm not a legal guy. I'm not a lawyer. So maybe that is a scenario that could happen under the language of the bill. But what I got from the bill is that the main focus is parents who are supportive of their kids, who live in states that are not supportive, who have laws on the books that literally will kidnap children from their parents if they support them in their transition. So they've written the law in such a way that, like, if you come to California for your gender-affirming care, like if you're fleeing another state, then if that state issues a subpoena or an extradition order or something to have you arrested or have you brought back or send your medical records back or whatever, they're not going to comply with that subpoena. That's all it is. That's what the bill is. Now, like,
it also makes it to where because Minnesota has a similar one as well, where if you are leaving a state like Florida, which has recently pushed through a ban on gender affirming care, including puberty blockers for minors. If a parent were to take their child to one of these states, there's a protection in the Minnesota one. There might not be in the California one, but I would hope it is. There's a protection that makes it to where legally the other parent cannot pursue from the state of Florida to get that child back to Florida.
It didn't explicitly say that, but I could see how that could be a scenario that is protected by this bill as well. That is certainly what it is being accused of being. If there's like a non-supportive parent, then the state of California will take custody of the kid for the purposes of the legal battle or whatever. But like that it wasn't explicitly in the bill. Like, again, I'm not a law talking guy. I don't know. Maybe I'm misreading it. That's entirely possible. But like my understanding is that it's mainly about supportive parents having somewhere they can go to get gender affirming care for their kid without having to worry about the government kidnapping their kid from them, which is literally a bill that is on the, well, has it been passed yet? I imagine it's going to pass. The one in, like, there's the one in Florida. I'm pretty sure Texas has something similar going on. Like, Florida and Texas are basically doing their best to become Gilead.
Yeah, they're doing everything in their power to be butt buddies here.
Butt buddies are our thing, Suris.
I never said that publicly.
Anyway, next up we got Myth-Informed Mike. Myth-Informed
look,
Mike.
it's how they fall from grace. Anyway.
Okay, so he says, the more you watch of this, the worse it gets. Drew Barrymore and Dylan Mulvaney practically make out on set.
I saw this.
I have the video. Again, there's, I think, yes, I turned the sound off. So basically what they're saying is, like, they're doing one of those stupid TikTok things that I don't understand why it's even a thing, where, like, instead of actually saying anything, you're just, like, lip syncing to, like, a comedy routine that someone else has done.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't understand why that is supposed to be, like, I would rather see the original routine, not just someone lip syncing it. I don't get that. But anyway, this is what they're doing, and it's basically like you put two friends in a room, there's a chance they might kiss, and then the other person says, yeah, more than a chance, it's going to happen, sort of thing, and then
they mime getting their lips very close to each other.
Yeah, no, I'm showing it. I'm showing it on the stream right now.
Yeah, because I saw this and I was just like, what? Like what?
They get their faces close to each other. Yeah.
Like,
no.
Like at the most you could say, okay, maybe the presentation's a bit cringe.
Yeah.
But who cares?
I don't find it funny. I don't find it charming. I just think it's kind of dumb. But like, whatever. I would
it's like who
if I had
cares?
seen that on TikTok, I would have just been like, and kept scrolling, move on with my life. I'm done. That's it. But yeah, apparently the more you watch of it, the worse it gets, which means I guess they sat there watching it on repeat for a while. Like, Mike, man, you gotta, like, it's okay if you're attracted to them. You can just admit it. You don't need to, like, watch it on repeat and then find an excuse for having watched it on repeat. You can just watch it and
you were
enjoy
trying
it.
to analyze the deep state messages that were being implanted into your brain from the TikTok, from the Chinese Jewish cabal, Rhino.
Yeah, but what's really great is like a bunch of people like responded to this tweet with like, "What's the problem? I don't get it. I don't understand. What's wrong with it? Like, why does it get worse?
It's like, please explain."
So he replied to that with, "Oh, fun, the woke are chiming in on this post. It's always way more fun watching the woke try to defend this insanity in real time."
Nobody's defending it.
Nobody's
though.
defending
They're literally
it.
just asking
Yeah,
why.
What is the problem? What's wrong with it? And apparently a lot of people are like, in that interview, there was like huge criticism. Like, I guess Drew Barrymore got down on her knees and then they both kind of like sat on the floor for a bit. And it's like, okay, that's weird for a daytime talk show or whatever, late night talk show, whatever it is. I don't know what time Drew Barrymore is on. I didn't even know she had a show until this. But like, yeah, that's a bit weird for an interview style for that. But like, who fucking cares?
Like, this is it. Like, the worst part is, like, you know what it is, right? You know what it is. It's a giant signal to an audience that are already pre-primed to see something like that and go, trans girl I don't like for reasons I can't explain, doing something together, automatically bad. Let's go ahead and shout out that it's bad to the internet. Like, that's what it is. I mean, it's knowing that you have an audience of people.
I like Drew Barrymore. The only thing the thing I dislike about Drew Barrymore the most is her proximity to Adam Sandler. I really don't like Adam Sandler. But Drew Barrymore, I like her.
I don't know if Adam Sandler likes Adam Sandler. I don't know. Do you have self-love and self-care if you make 8 Crazy Nights? I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't seen 8 Crazy Nights because I don't like Adam Sandler, so like I don't watch his movies. I saw The Wedding Singer. I saw 50 First Dates, which, holy fuck, that movie is yikes as fuck.
That movie feels like a Predator fantasy sometimes.
Yeah.
Like the way it's presented is it just in like the very comedic fashion is very. You watch it and you're like, okay, so this is kind of funny and kind of charming because of just how clueless everybody in the movie is, and they just want to do better. But like, if that scenario was happening in real life,
my ideal woman is one that I can basically like continue pursuing until I get what I want, and there's no repercussions because she'll just forget who I am, and I can start over the next day. It's just like, no.
And an entire society of people that have built their lives around mimicking the same Groundhog Day for her day in and day out.
It's like, what I really want is a woman with no agency.
Like, again, within the context of the film, it's watchable. I don't hate that film. But when I think about if that scenario happened in real life, it'd be like, oh, that's a bit...
I mean, the best part of the film, objectively, is when Samwise Gamgee makes his nipples dance.
Hey, Vice Rhino, you've seen A Clockwork Orange, right?
No, actually, I haven't.
Oh. Do you at least know the movie theater
familiar
scene?
I'm familiar with... are you referring to when his eyes were, like, held open?
Yeah, because that's what I'm gonna do that to you and make you watch Jack and Jill.
Is that an Adam Sandler movie?
It is an Adam Sandler movie where Adam Sandler plays himself and also a girl version of himself as twins.
That sounds awful.
It is horrendous.
Is it awful in the sense that I'm going to love making fun of it?
You know, you're going to
Because-
come out of that either scarred or with an entire entourage of dad jokes. And I don't know which one, and I'm willing to take that gamble.
Well, I mean, you know me and dad jokes, man. Like,
Yeah, they don't stop coming.
that's what she said.
Go to sleep.
I wish. Next tweet. Dr. Jordan B. Peterson. Sir,
No!
would you do the honors?
This psychogenic epidemic was enabled by therapists and physicians, remaining silent when they should have spoken, lying outright, and profiting all the whole virtue signaling I think he meant all the while. All the while. Virtue signaling unforgivably. I don't know how to fucking type. Shame barely covers it.
You want to talk about not knowing how to type? Did you see his tweet from the other day?
I don't look at all of his tweets, thank God.
Okay, let's see if I don't know if I saved it, but I made it into one of those quote thingies. Okay, yeah, let's add source, image, create new. Excuse me while I browse my computer to figure out where the fuck I saved this thing. There. Absolutely everything you do at CNN is pathetic virtue signaling. Thank God days are numbered. And the best part was, this is in response to CNN tweeting out that pools in Berlin now allow women to go topless. So it's like, he thought of boobs and forgot how to type.
Absolutely everything you do at CNN is pathetic virtue signaling. Thank me, Miss Piggy L are numbered.
But yeah, that's my favorite quote of his. Anyway, so this was, as you probably guessed just from context, it was about trans people. And
So it's just social contagion theory, that thing
Yeah.
that has been talked about to death but never once proven.
the left-handedness graph.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to.
Tweeterson. Jordan
Jordan
Tweeterson.
Tweeterson.
That kind of
Oh,
fits.
no.
Like, if you follow him on Twitter, you can watch his descent into madness. Like, he's getting so much worse at hiding how much of an idiot he is.
What are you
Like,
talking about?
he seems-
I'm not getting worse. I'm telling you that what I do is not only important, but it's necessary. And I cry when I go onto podcasts all the time.
I think he's lost his ability to engage in word salad. So, like, he's just saying it. He's just saying what he means without dressing it up in intelligent-sounding language.
He lost the ability to toss the salad a long time
Yes.
ago with the all beef diet.
Suris, your Kermit voice is making me want to get that Miss Piggy impression song of, like, I'm sure you're aware of it. They play it when they see dogs with long noses.
Oh no, I don't want to send you the thing that was sent to me literally 20 minutes ago, but it's that meme, but it's awful.
Send it.
Oh, okay, hold on. Hold on. Are you on Discord? Can I send it to you there?
No, you can send it to me on WhatsApp.
Oh wait, no, I can do that. Yeah, you're right. What am I doing?
Fucking
I'm being stupid.
Discord. I have a Discord server. I wonder how that's doing. I haven't been in it in years.
I don't know either. I don't go into my Discord server that much either. I should. I really should. Okay, here you go. Here you go. Enjoy.
Okay. Am I gonna have to put this on the stream?
You know what?
It's not. Okay.
You know what? Maybe it's worth the gamble. Maybe it's worth the gamble.
It's not gonna take my channel down. Worst case scenario, it just gets me demonetized. Whatever. Add source. Image.
Oh boy.
Browse. Boop. There we go.
Let me do it for you. Jeremy.
Yeah. This dog's got a condom on its nose. Like, come on.
At least they're safe.
It can't breathe, though. It can't breathe.
Who needs to breathe?
Okay. I think that's been up for long enough. We can.
I think it's been up for long enough too. No, you mentioned that. I'm just like, this thing was sent to me at 8:42 p.m. today. Why not?
And my chat, I hope my chat is familiar with the "Let me do it for you" meme, because it's a lot. It makes a lot. I mean, it doesn't actually make sense, but it makes a lot more sense in the context of that meme's existence than it does just by itself if you're not aware of that. So if you're not aware of that meme, just do a search for "Let me do it for you" meme, and there's like this whole cartoon series of videos. They don't involve sex play most of the time.
Not all the time.
Usually, like
they
the
usually,
original
they
one
usually involve a potato chip.
Yeah, the original one is the dog sticks his nose down a Pringles can to get the last Pringle for you. But
Let me do it for you.
yeah, and that's the song. And yeah, there's more history to it, like, because that song was originally just some guy imitating Miss Piggy in a private chat, and then like his buddy just thought it was funny, so he put a piano line behind it, and then someone years later threw it on a meme.
I mean, that's how the internet works. We recycle our humor.
Yep.
Over 9,000 stopped being funny until it was funny again.
Oh, I still make jokes about that every now and then.
Yep.
Frank Turek says, if the God who created you and sacrificed himself for you wanted you to refrain from certain sexual behaviors, would you obey him? Okay, before we get on to the rest of this, where he
didn't sack himself. He literally just took a fucking vacation.
Yeah, okay, but let's grant this whole point. Somebody sacrifices their life for you. Are you now obligated to live the rest of your life in accordance with their desires?
No, they're dead. Why the fuck do they care?
Yeah, well, no, even if they were alive, like this person who is now dead would want me to do this. Do I have to do that? No.
I have a question, Mr. Frank Turek. So if I happen to look up just big-titted anime orgy dojins, and I shoot rope to it, does that inconvenience God, or is he watching along with me?
He's watching along with you.
Not only is he watching along with me, he's omnipresent. So he's currently tickling my prostate while I do it.
And you literally come inside him. And he came inside me. That's another.
He is as much a participant in this act as anyone else.
So that's another bit that okay, I'll give a brief audio preview of Friday's video coming up. Just a second while I load it.
Shalex in my chat says, and he watched the mangaka create it.
Yep. Just remember, every single sexual act, technically speaking, God has been in the middle of it, if he exists. Every single one. Gay, straight, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Everybody's a little gay because God's been inside of them.
Well, God's gender fluid, so that doesn't make you gay.
He's going to put his gender fluid inside you, yeah.
Okay, let's see. Is it this one?
Stoff in my chat says, God hasn't punished me for what I drew yesterday yet, so I don't think he cares.
Oh, also not.
No, it's not that one. Here we go. Come on, man. Phrasing. These supposedly accidental euphemisms happen in Christianity so frequently that I'm pretty much convinced at this point that they do it on purpose to generate reactions. Come inside me, Lord Jesus. Show me your power. Enter me and fill me with your glory. Come, Lord Jesus, come. Like, they have to know, right? There's no way that they don't know. That's in my video this Friday.
I just want to go ahead and let you know, it is canonical within the Bible that Mary Magdalene has a thing for feet.
Yeah. She rubs her hair all over it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just reminding everyone, just in case they might have forgotten.
And yeah, no, that's that is canonical. Yeah, you can't deny that.
Nope. Shit that happened.
But yeah,
shit was real.
Yeah. So my question, like, the analogy that I've heard is that imagine someone has an infinitely large loaf of bread. They have a bread that infinitely replenishes itself. So then if somebody comes up and steals a piece of that bread, have they actually stolen something? No, because you have an infinite supply of it. So you have not lost anything. Like,
congratulations, you've just explained internet piracy.
Well, okay, so an argument could be made there that, like, if you actually buy the thing, then the money goes to, like, realistically the developers or people who worked on the movies or whatever you're pirating.
What's
they've
the
already
difference
been
between me
paid?
pirating the thing and buying it from GameStop? Either way, they don't get any money from me, and I am playing the game.
Yeah, I was thinking of first-party buying, because like that's the thing is like they'll say
who
like,
has that kind of money?
Yeah, well, so the anti-piracy argument is basically that like if you pirate it, then you're stealing money from the gaffers and the lighting people and the cameraman and the developers or whatever. But it's like they get paid hourly. They don't get a kickback on like on the profits from the like in very rare instances. Does anyone get kickbacks from it other than like the studio and maybe some actors, or like maybe director, producer, writer, like the higher ups would get the kickbacks. The people who work the cameras, they're not getting kickbacks from it. So like if you pirate it, they've already been paid their hourly wage. Doesn't make a difference to them. What makes a difference is if more people pirate it than buy it, then the studio is going to see that loses money, and so they're not going to do something like that in the future. So that it's like the future gigs that might not pan out, but I'm pretty sure that Hollywood's pretty safe for that.
Not to mention, if there's one thing that I've learned, Gabe Newell had a really good point that piracy generally happens whenever there's a hole in the market that is not being properly taken care of by a publisher, because most people pirate for the convenience.
Yeah. Well, and for my instance, I used to pirate a lot of music back when I was a teenager. Rebellious
Napster, LimeWire.
Yeah. I use both of those. Are you old enough to remember the pain of spending 2 days downloading one song over dial-up connection speeds?
And when you got the song, it sounded like it was underwater.
Yeah, or it had one of those like anti-piracy things right in the middle of it, or it cut off before the end of the song.
Yep.
Yeah, those were the days.
Or it was a live recording that somebody took with like...
Yeah, and they labeled it as if it was a studio recording.
Yep.
Yeah. That was fun. This is bringing back memories. But
this is the reason why I played RuneScape as a kid, because it was in the browser.
But yeah, so my thing here is that the reason I pirated these songs is because like I'm a teenager. I don't have a lot of money. Like if I don't have a job, or if I do have a job, I have better things to spend my money on than CDs. Or at least I thought I did. Like I wasn't really into CDs for the most part. So I wouldn't how would I learn about new music? I didn't really listen to the radio at all. So if the way that I was exposed to new music was through piracy. Yep. So there are several bands that I still have the CDs that I bought when I was a teenager, and I bought every single one of the CDs from these bands, and I never would have known about them if I hadn't found out about them from someone who pirated their stuff and then told me to pirate their stuff, and so I pirated their stuff, and I'm like, hey, I kind of like this. I think I'll buy the album. So, in my case, piracy
that's how
actually
Fall Out
led
Boy got popular. Like, literally, they got popular during the age of LimeWire, and piracy was effectively their marketing mechanism in the earliest years.
Fusel says, I remember crying because I downloaded music and once saw the police driving by my house thinking they were out looking for me. So
I remember getting those horror stories like in the newspaper that my mom would send to me, and just like, these people downloaded 500 megabytes of music and now they owe thousands of dollars.
So when I was in high school, we had a German exchange student live with us for a semester, and he once told me that if he ever saw the police pull up to his house in Germany, the first thing he would do, without even thinking about it for a split second, would be to pull his hard drive out of his computer and smash it with a hammer. And now, to be fair, he did more piracy than just the music. Like, he brought from Germany with him a copy of Windows Whistler. Are you familiar with Windows Whistler?
No.
Windows Whistler was the code name for Windows XP. So I had a computer that was running Windows XP thanks to this German guy before Windows XP was released.
Oh.
So, like, I had exclusive access to Windows XP before it was available to the general public, thanks to this guy having pirated Windows Whistler.
Huh.
So it's not like he just had some music. Like, he had some
he had some shit that you should not have had.
Yeah. And, like, this is the stuff that he felt comfortable telling the stranger that he just lived with for a couple months in Canada. So, like, imagine what he didn't feel comfortable telling us.
Yeah, I'm just imagining a bunch of scenes from Eurotrip, but, like, recorded and put on a hard drive. Wandersex.
Yeah, no, he had a whole hidden directory on that drive that was full of pictures of naked women, and it was pictures back then because it was dial-up internet, so you couldn't download videos.
I remember as a child discovering Yahoo image search for the first time, and it changed my life.
Yeah,
is all I'm saying.
It's still like that scene of comic book guy downloading the picture of Captain Janeway on The Simpsons still hits hard. It's like, I remember when that's how it was.
I remember I was being like at my grandmother's house, and everybody was asleep, and I was using the family computer because that was a thing that people had back then, and I didn't know how to delete history. I didn't know how to do any of that, but I would literally I'd click a page, and then like the absolute nanosecond that I would hear anything that sounded like the door to the garage opening or anything, just immediately close out of everything. Go to the window that had RuneScape running. Log in real quick. I've been playing the whole time. Trust me.
Yeah. So I once.
But anyway, God sacrificed himself so we could do that, right?
Yes. But yeah, my point is with the infinite loaf of bread, does that actually, like, if God is an infinite being, so even if you do sin against him, have you done him any damage? He's infinite. Like, he's got this infinite power. Like, he's infinitely powerful. So if I do something not infinitely powerful against him, has that damaged him in any way? No.
So
it's literally impossible.
He's infinite.
It's literally impossible to do anything that could offend such a being.
So if he's infinite, Rhino, then I have a couple questions for you. Is he the tallest of mountains? Is he the roughest of waves?
This is what I get into when people say he's perfect. It's like, well, perfect is very subjective. What do you mean by perfect? Because there is a perfect butt plug. Is God the perfect butt plug because he's the perfect everything?
I think he's the toughest of terrors, actually. And he's the darkest of days. My chat knows what I'm doing.
Yeah,
my chat's cringing at me.
I don't know what you're doing, but I knew that it was something like that, that your chat would know.
So there's Ivana, I know the joke's flying over Rhino's head. That was on purpose. I knew it would. So
Scott Dillahunt says, if God is infinite, what does he need with worshippers? Exactly. He doesn't.
There's a villain in the Sonic the Hedgehog series whose name is Infinite, and his theme song goes, "I am the tallest of mountains, I am the roughest of waves, I am the toughest of terrors, I am the darkest of days."
Okay. I
So
mean,
you said like when you said he's
technically-
literally infinite, I'm like, okay, I guess
Technically,
he's
God is all
literally
those
infinite.
things. Yeah. All right, and that was the last one, and it's about 10 o'clock,
Aw.
so it's time for me to go.
He's
So,
perfect timing.
thank you for joining me tonight, Suris. Thank you
Yeah.
for allowing me to stick your tits in my chat so they could grab them with
They could
their
grab
little
them.
hands. Oh,
Yeah, thank you
black
for
bar is back.
allowing sexual harassment on your platform.
no comment. I would like to issue a statement apologizing for the former statements that I made regarding Suris's tits and the
All right,
grabbing
guys.
thereof.
I just want you guys to know that Rhino's last name is actually Clinton. His chat did not have relations.
My chat did not have sexual relations with that gentleman's tits. Oh, Bill Clinton. Basically a Republican.
I mean, 90s Democrats.
I'm still mad that RIFRA is his fault. RIFRA is a Democrat bill.
Hey.
On that cheery note, fuck off.